Hello. It's a bit contradicting, isn't it? Someone as young as me talking about wisdom. A bit like a politician holding a speech on honesty. I mean, wisdom is usually attributed to elder people than myself, simply because they have far more experience than me. To better illustrate, I thought I'd mention the Native Americans. They believe that the past is in front of us. And my grandmother can look upon her entire life. No wonder she's wise. But what can I see? What do I know about wisdom? I try picturing it as a home that keeps us safe, warm, comfortable, and untroubled. Its foundation is the very past that lies before us. But which foundation is better? That of success or that of failure? What kind of experience makes for a wiser person? I, too, used to feel regret and shame whenever I thought back to my many moments of utter disappointment. But then, my father told me an old Romanian proverb: regret what you haven't done, and not what you already did. Every memory can be used for good. Every mistake can lead to something truly beautiful. Take Stephen Fry, for example, a man who got kicked around from school to school, ended up in prison at the age of 17, and is now an actor, writer, director, comedian, orator, and quite frankly, my hero. It was his mistakes that led to his wisdom. And what better time, dear audience, what better time to make said mistakes than when we're young? Even our brains are built so that in our youth we appreciate reward far more than risk. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the young risk everything so readily? Because we are meant to. Some of the best lessons we ever learn, we learn from our mistakes and failures. The error of the past is the wisdom of the future. These are the words of the late Tyrone Edwards. But if all young people are reckless, which, let's face it, we are, if we all make so many mistakes, how come we don't all end up as wise as Gandhi himself? I asked my mother, and she told me something that made me realize how much wiser she is. She said that you can have the experience of 1,000 lifetimes, and you can make all the mistakes in the world. But if you can't learn from them, why bother? Remember that home I mentioned earlier? It can have the strongest foundation. But without walls or a roof, without having learned anything from our mistakes, it leaves us cold, miserable, confused, and unhappy. Can you not think of a mistake you made again and again, never learning from it, always keeping you from feeling at ease? I know I can. When I was a boy, me and my brother used to argue a lot. Sometimes he made me so mad, I decided, that's it. From now on, I hate him. I mean, how dare he eat the last piece of pudding? Alas, I never could bring myself to do so. And how could I? He's my brother, I love him. Still, I kept trying, right up until he left for college and I stayed behind, unhappy. Looking back, however, I am glad that I made that mistake, because now that I've accepted it, I know I'll never repeat it. Youth is not just the time of our lives that we develop physically, sexually, or emotionally. It is the time of firsts. It is the time of fiascos. It is the time of wonders and questions and the search for answers. It is the time of our lives that we can and ought to draw wisdom from. It is the foundation of our home. And I believe it's high time we started building. My father once told me, in order to be wise, one must be at peace with oneself. And maybe, just maybe, if the whole world faced the error of its ways, we could all go to bed at peace with ourselves and wake up the wiser for it. That, I believe, is the wisdom of my youth. And I've started laying my foundation, but I sincerely hope that you, and all of you already have a roof over your heads.